Okay, so today's rant is about this video that I saw on YouTube the other day. It's about it's this old commercial about donating money to Holocaust survivors, and the video was put up online as a joke. People were laughing that they were asking for donations for Holocaust survivors, and some of the comments said, "Well, it was 70 years ago. They need to get over it." And I want to slap every single one of those people. There's no possible way that anyone who's alive today could have any idea what those people went through. And I think the fact that people are upset about LeBron James leaving Cleveland, and I guarantee you some of those people are saying Holocaust survivors should get over it. It's it's kind of fucked up. So that's to you guys. Um, Now, secondly, there was a guy on the video who, to his credit, was actually posting and saying, it's you guys shouldn't be making fun of him, yada yada, but for the wrong reasons. Um, he said something about the lies of Abraham and the rapist pig, Prophet Muhammad being a rapist and all this stuff. And I just wanted to point out to him and now to you guys, the Bible is full of rape and murder that's just smiled upon by God. In fact, there's a website somewhere that has the death count, God's body count, and then the devil's body count. God's is in the billions. The devil's, I think, is 7. It might be higher. But, say whatever you want. Like, the fact of the matter is, there's what's called the problem of evil. And it's pretty straightforward. It says that if God is all-knowing, all-good, and all-powerful, as in the Judeo-Christian tradition, then there wouldn't be evil in the world. And the easiest out in this is for people that say, no, all sin was brought about by man, and God gave man free will, and he chose to sin, and he brought sin into the world, etc. So then you run into a couple problems there. Man did not create the tsunami that killed thousands of people, or man did not create tornadoes that sweep across the Midwestern United States and kill people. Natural disasters are an example of evil in the world. And by evil, here I'm talking about something that causes suffering, you know. Sure, and then the other argument is, well, those people are now closer to God, they're in heaven, except for the people that they leave behind are not closer to God. In fact, they're pissed off. So there's that. The other thing to think about here is, why the hell was the devil in the Garden of Eden? The Garden of Eden supposedly was paradise, am I right? Free from sin. Well, that would mean that the devil would also be free from sin. Otherwise, there would be sin in paradise, which is kind of contradictory. So, why would God, first of all, why would God create the devil? If he was all-knowing, he would know that he would become the devil. According to the tradition, he was an angel that got kicked out of heaven for being a dick. So why would he even create him in the first place? And then, why would he just put him in the Garden of Eden? That one I don't understand. There's just a whole lot of problems. The other one being, it's called Euthyphro's dilemma, and it comes from Plato. Socrates arrives at the court, finds this guy Euthyphro, and they start talking about what's pious. Well, eventually, they get to the point when Euthyphro tells Socrates, well, what is pious is what is loved by the gods. And Socrates then presents him with Euthyphro's dilemma, which is it pious because it's loved by the gods, or is it loved by the gods because it's pious? Well, it seems like the first instinct is to say, well, it's pious because it's loved by the gods. So we can translate this in more modern terms and say, is something good because God wills it, or does God will it because it's good? Well, either way, you're kind of fucked. If you say that it's good because God wills it, God has the capacity to will contradictory things, which, he very easily could, which kind of doesn't work. If God tells you that it's good to walk and to not walk, for example. The other obvious issue being, how the hell does anyone know what God wills more so than anyone else? I mean, look at the Crusades. That's what people thought. That's what God was willing, or the Inquisition. People thought God was willing them to do this thing, and they believed it was good. And now we don't believe that, but it has nothing to do with what's good. It has to do with how people of the time interpret writings and crazy people that think they talk to God. The other one, it's good because God wills it. That's kind of self-explanatory. If God is looking out into the world and seeing that things are good, then he doesn't have anything to do with what's good. Goodness is independent of God. So I just wanted to point out that it doesn't really make a whole lot of logical sense for the God of the Bible, as loving and forgiving as he was, just ask everyone in the world except for Noah. There's something else that bothered me, and I pointed this out to the guy. I mentioned something about the rape and murder in the Bible. And he'd seemed to have forgotten, both in the Sodom and Gomorrah, which I think is Genesis 19, and then Judges 19. Both cases, in Genesis, I believe it's two angels that come to visit Lot. And then the horny mob outside want to fuck them, more or less. And Lot says, no, you can't go near my people, these guys that I've never met before, ever. But you can gang rape my 2 virgin daughters. And God's like, yeah, man, that's cool. Don't worry about it. And then, God saves him for his troubles. And in Judges, it's pretty much the same story, except it's kind of unclear whether or not the daughter dies, but she is gang raped and she's returned to the doorstep. It says something like, return to the doorstep of the guy's house. So this God that everyone seems to be worshiping is not really that good of a guy, or he just doesn't exist. The problem of evil kind of does away with him, I think. So